So I've had a request this week. My son, Nick, would like my burnt ends this weekend, so that's what we're gonna make. I say burnt ends because I'm not making traditional burnt ends, which are the trimmings off of the end of a full brisket that get a little crispy on the edges, have lots of sauce on them, and are just delicious. But I just start with hunks of meat with burnt end type hunks of little meat as my goal. So you can use whatever meat you want. In this particular case, this is a rump roast. Another thing that works really good is chuck, anything that has a decent amount of fat content that you can smoke. And then this happens to be a piece of brisket flat that I'm gonna use as well because of course I have a ton of boys over tonight, so we're gonna need a lot of them. So to start, you start like any other beef product that you're gonna smoke. You start with a binder, which I like to use Worcestershire sauce as my binder on beef. So a binder, you're just using that as something that's going to get the rub to stick to. And then I also am going to use Holy Cow, which is a meat church rub that is designed for beef that I really enjoy on all of my beef. So you just want to put a nice thick coating all over all sides of this. And that's your prep to begin your burnt ends. Out here at the Big Green Egg, I have it rolling at about 200. You can use any smoker you want, be that pellet, offset, even a Weber kettle grill will work for this. You can even make them in the oven if you want. So I'm just gonna put these on the grill. My lid is angry. And I'm not claiming I am God's gift to barbecue. This is just how I do it, how my family likes it, and how other people I like it. It can be a very, polarizing thing, barbecue, but this is what I like, and that's what I'm showing you today. So while the meat is cooking today, I'm putting together the engine for my side project, which is a 1984 Dodge D150 pickup that I have been doing a bunch of restoration work on. So if I don't look great in some of the videos, it's because I'm doing this.
We've been going about 2 hours. Temperature has creeped up to about 250, which is fine for this cook. They're starting to look amazing. Let's see what kind of temperatures we have here. So when these get to about 160, we're gonna pull and wrap them. So that guy is getting close in some areas and others not as much. This guy being thicker is gonna take more time. He's still at 135. So just letting them roll here.
Brought these in and we're gonna wrap them up. When I do low and slow barbecue, I like to use butcher paper. You can also use foil, different things. What you're doing is you're sealing in the moisture and you're actually speeding up the cooking process because as the moisture comes off of the meat, it evaporates, which cools down the meat and slows down the cooking process. So by wrapping them, you keep all of that moisture inside and maintain a cooking towards your goal of 203 to 207, depending on what you're looking for. After the wrap, we're going back on to the egg. And then we're going to continue to smoke these on the egg until their internal temperature, as I discussed, is about 203 or so temperature, or they just feel like jelly when you poke them. But that happens just around 200 degrees. So you just keep going, and then we'll take our next steps. I'm back in from the garage. I've had a shower, and now I'm ready to complete the burnt ends here. So we have our meat that we have had on the smoker pretty much all day, and we're gonna pull it out of the wrap. Put it here on the cutting board, hot. And then we're just gonna cut this into beautiful bite-sized pieces. So obviously I don't wanna put anything in there that you don't wanna eat. So I'm gonna cut it into smaller pieces, and then we will sauce them up and put them back on the grill. Getting ready for the finishing step here for our burnt ends. So I took all of the meat and I cut out all of the gristle and any of the fat. So all we have here is really beautiful, tasty bites. Each individual bite, it has a little bit of smoke ring, a little bit of rub, and just fantastic. To this, I add a little over a cup of barbecue sauce. And these are gonna be not exact measurements. I may have to add more. I'm just adding some of each of that, and then about 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And you mix this up and it goes back out onto the grill. Gonna turn it up to about 350. And then we just want it to caramelize, get a few little burnt edges, hence the burnt ends, and it's just gonna be delicious. So I've opened up the vents and I've started to let the egg creep up, headed toward about 350 while we do this final caramelization stage. You notice this is in a disposable foil pan because it is horrible to clean up. But we'll check back on these in a little while. We'll find some bubbly beauties. Open the vents and let the egg eat a little bit here. People are hungry, we need to eat. Oh yeah. Starting to get some nice color. Some good reduction. Oh, that's real nice. Ready to pull these babies off, I think. Few more minutes. Time to eat. Time to pull these pupperooskies off. They're really looking good. Got some nice color on the outside, a little burning here on the outside. These are going to be delicious. Finished product. I like to eat these on just a plain old piece of bread. Got some of my beans and then cheesy hash brown potatoes. And then, of course, a fruit as a side. Hope you enjoyed watching me make these. I enjoyed making them.